Good Tuesday morning. I was reading on the news this morning. This evening. It is 10 after 1. But anyway, there's a Freddie Gray. From all purposes, he seemed like a very young, healthy man until the police ended up. Well, the video I saw him, they're dragging him, like his legs, and he's hollering. And one thing I noticed about people around here that whoop their kids, they do not like their kids to holler out in pain. They start beating them harder. So he was probably screaming out in pain, probably something already broke. And so that probably really made the cops mad. We have a police in a society, not only the police, because it's very prevalent here that I notice with people that whoop their kids, certain human behavior that I call natural, like a baby cry, could cause them to get hit. The police having, like with the police, they're most of them seem to be very hostile. It's like once they got them down on the ground, then they start punching on them. I'm sorry. If you have somebody down on the ground and you start punching on them, if you don't think that you're causing them pain, because like I know if they had the guy down on, there was another incident where they were showing this guy getting beat, and he's trying to cover up his head. The whole time he's trying to cover up his head, the cop's pulling his arm back while the guy's punching him in the head, talking about stop resisting. But like, if that cop had been down on the ground and somebody was punching him in his face, without even thinking, it'd been a natural reaction. You've been trying to protect yourself, because that's what humans do. I think that, as I remember, the violent people, they thinking that, because I don't know, I remember this today when I went to the store. The girl had a big old fat lip, and I remember thinking to myself, did you solve it? Because I knew the little girl that hangs out with her, Niecy or whatever, she's been trying to start stuff up with me now for like a few years or whatever. I think she thought I was competition, her standing on the corner, but she ain't never seen me stand on the corner. Then I don't know what her problem was. I know that when she came over here and we had the flood, she was acting a fool and she was getting ready to do something, and I just tried to get the cop, get him off her. But I should have just let her go ahead, because I didn't understand she probably had a better relationship with the police. Well, anyway, she don't live on Harrowhead anymore. I guess there's not that much money in prostitution, or trying, as old as her ass is. She's like in her late 30s. But anyway, getting back to the police, they do teach, like in some of the classes that they, like a WSU, like one of the police courses. Well, I didn't think it was going to be a police course. I thought it was going to be part of sociology. I just wanted to understand why the police have such an attitude, and why their attitude is not that of this person is a victim already. You know what I mean? If that child was a criminal, that child did something, your job is not to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Once you got them, once they get them, but they say, oh, my adrenaline, right? Well, we all have adrenaline, and maybe that person's adrenaline is working too. You ever think about like flipping it over and trying to, look at it not only from your selfish, narcissistic, somebody got to listen, they ain't listening to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not that nobody is listening to it, it's just that people have free will. It's like this lady over here, she's trying to teach her child, like the potty breaker child. So she's got the kid there sitting waiting for the kid to shit. And she goes, you ever had that much problem? I'm like, no. Most people I know, they come out pissing and shit, and it's just letting them know where to go. She's trying to force this kid to do a natural act, and she's frustrated, she's aggravated, and the kid didn't, probably now the kid's all tense and he can't shit, all, but anyway, and as soon as, and I guarantee you, as soon as she got him off of that pot and he sat down and relaxed, because I know that works for me. I'll sit down, read a book, or relax, drink a nice cup of tea or have a cup of coffee or something. Hey, eat some figs. But anyway, so I see the same type of mentality in the police as I did in that mother. That one, that where she doesn't respect the fact that she shits. You know what I'm saying? And you know there's a certain feeling of urgency. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit like, oh well, let me just sit now because so and so wants me to. You know, it doesn't work. So she's frustrated. You know, and a lot of things, I see things that, like what's that AA thing, grant you the wisdom to know things you can change and those you can't. Well, that's, they don't have the wisdom, which wisdom comes from continuing learning because like the police keep doing the same stuff. They keep killing citizens, American citizens that they are paid to protect and serve. You know what I mean? And they're looking now as all, the people out there, I guess, as their enemy or as criminal, or at least try to fraternize it to where, we're blacks. Because, like I got a black policeman down here, because, I'm busy in the yard, right? And, I know from, Heavy, he used to, always, oh, watch so-and-so, watch so-and-so. He used to get real frustrated because, I don't really give a fuck. He's because somebody's mowing, he's, oh, look how they're mowing, I'm like, yeah, I seen mowing before. No, but look at him. He wants you to look at, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, look at them, looking at us. I'm like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? You so busy want to gawk at them to make them uncomfortable, but as soon as they're like, why is this person looking at me? Hi. You know what I mean? Go like that, wave at them. Then they don't want to wave back, but, so so there's a certain mentality, a certain way that we have, raised. I hate to say it, I'm not down on Christians or anything, I'm nothing against them, but there's good and bad in every religion and every, they got jails all over the world. But I've seen it in Christians too, where they're so easy to judge. You know what I'm saying? So easy to jump to a conclusion by maybe some propaganda they've seen on TV or something like that. A lot of us are like that. You know what I'm saying? You can notice it with the fads. So my point is that if we could get diverted to a fad, if we could get diverted to change our behavior because of something we see on TV, that we could also change the behavior of the police. At least so that once they're down on top of them, they won't be punching them. Because your actions, even though you could think of they have excuses. I'm going to write a book, 900 pages on excuses and how to blame everybody else for your actions. It's gonna be at least 500 pages on how to blame your children for you whooping them. And then them being 60 fucking years old and being a useless, violent shit. I guess I should have said that guy that's sleeping in, that's trespassing. What he had did when he had grabbed me, but I fought him off. I just started punching him in the neck and the face and certain places, and then I just worked right there in his around his kidney a little bit. The way he had me, I just coming around. I just came around and worked that kidneys. That's when he dropped me. So, I'm what I'm saying, and when Larry Jones punched me in the face, he called, the cops was gonna arrest me for fighting him back, but so. You know what I mean? Because, this is... So, you have, the police have a mentality where they think violence is appropriate. And that's the only answer. And they have all these excuses. And they're able to blame the victims and everybody else. And the same thing, with the rape, kids not being solved. A lot of it is I hear a lot of guys who are like, oh, well, you want to have sex, because they're brought up to think that they're supposed to want to have sex. Just like this lady across, like where I walk at, this guy, you know, he just stared at me, and that makes me fucking feel uncomfortable when you come off like a pervert. You ain't gonna talk, but you're gonna make little gestures like, you know, whatever that shit is. That shit makes me want to take a fucking 2x4 to your face and put you out of your misery because something's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, but anyway, so they had some lady out there, and she just giggling, and I'm like, well, you fucking raised, you know, these little motherfuckers to think that it's okay to talk that way to women. You probably talk to your kid that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear the way, like I'm surprised some of these mothers, like, if they'll get mad, like, you can't talk, you can't curse around my kid. Like, you over there talking about sucking dick and doing this, and their dad. My favorite one is, your daddy ain't shit. Unconsciously, right, the kid's like, I guess I ain't shit. But anyway, so we have a mentality in our society that we think it's appropriate to use violence. I was looking at that something with Worth Star, and it's like, the kid just whacked the kid with something off the stove, you know, and like the person that was looking at it with me, they were like, yeah, they're all excited, and I'm like, that's fucked up all the way around, you know. I mean, because it didn't solve the problem of what, you know, why it got, whatever the original problem, it didn't solve it, you know. And I know one thing, if they're in the same house, and when I come to, you know, it's gonna be a tit for a tat. It's gonna be on like hot butter popcorn. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to feel pain and discomfort. Nobody wants that. That's God gives a gift to us to know that we need to do something to protect ourselves when we feel pain. If we feel anguish, like here, it's very stressful. You know, I know I gotta, you know, do other things like meditate. There's nothing I can do to change there's nothing you can do to change the police, you know what I'm saying, by words, because it seems like the more we try to explain to them that you shouldn't kill somebody, the more excuses they have for why they should. And since in the past, you know, the Supreme Court, even like in Ferguson, Missouri, gave them like a license to murder. You know, but this was in Baltimore, right? Yeah, Baltimore. Baltimore has multiple other problems, but the main issue and the reason why, like, you know, like as a cop could talk about, it's my testosterone. Okay, women have it. Everybody has the same chemical makeup. Everybody gets excited, no matter what name you want to label it, or you know, or whatever the chemical makeup that causes it, right? We all, as human beings, what we need to do is bring our school system to a point where they have more knowledge. With more knowledge, you know, with more information, the more information they have, the more understanding that the person has about humanity, the more we will not be seeing police doing that. So lack of education. They might have did a 2-year, but let me tell you, the colleges right now are not geared really necessarily to teaching. They're geared to collecting money. You know what I'm saying? It's how many people they could get in for the high. It went up 1,000%, and the education system has gone down 1,000%. They're not pumping out anybody making it. You know what I'm saying? United States ain't number one no more, and it's because of our education system, and it's because of our police department with the mentality that it doesn't have to be a human and comprehend that your actions are the results of the situation that you're in. You know? It wasn't that kid did the crime that caused his death. It was the police beating on him that caused his death. If he didn't do a crime, it's not a police place anyway. That's why we have court system, and that's why our court systems is fucked up, because we have policemen that think that they're going to be the judge and jury. So that way you could coerce the prosecutor You know, where the FBI was caught, you know, with their hair samples and not even analyzing them. And plus, I don't even know why they're even using hair samples, because if you don't have the root of it anyway, you know, basically, all you can prove is that all hair is the same, black, white, or whatever. It's just how much moisture and etc. You know, more moisture, more curl, less moisture, more straight. So anyway, here we have another police murder. They want to go, well, we need to find out what happened. What happened is they murdered him. It's very simple. If you keep it simple to the facts, I think the police job would be a lot easier. If somebody, because of your actions, be it beating them or shooting them or you know, choking them or pepper spraying them in such a way that you caused their death, you are the cause. You can study all you want to, pictures and everything else before, like they did in Ferguson. Oh, well, he was at the Quick Trip. Quick Trip is not what killed him. Having a misunderstanding with the guy at the counter is not what killed him. Darren Wilson killed him, and Darren Wilson got away with murder. And fascist, white, racist motherfuckers is going to be the death of this country through our financial and our education system because of their actions. America is no longer number one because of white racist thinking. Because that's the only way outside force could come in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, well, this, you know, we know they don't like black people, so we could fuck in the black neighborhood, we could fuck in the poor neighborhood, we could fuck them up, and they're gonna be on our sides. Just like you can whoop your kids, and a lot of people look the other way. Until he gets old enough and he gets an old lady and starts beating on him, and then we got to fix the problem. We can nick the problem in the butt by fixing our education system and letting these policemen know that we all get excited. We all have the same chemical makeup. The same adrenaline that makes you do what you do is the same adrenaline that makes somebody sit down and think. So you have choices. God gave you free will. If you choose not to use your free will, if you choose to use excuses and blame other people for your actions, that's why we still have that same behavior. You know, that's why we have problems now in America. That's why we all our money is just being seeped out because we got excuses. And we got a police force that is too busy worrying about running after actually, I think, the victims. And these children coming out of these bad school situations, they're not giving them a job. It's not preparing them for work. They're going to have to do what they have to do to eat. It's not like we're nomadic anymore and we follow the herd. So, we live in a capitalist society. And this is the results of a capitalist society. And it gets worse if you don't educate your kids. It gets worse if we have all these excuses and blames. And it gets worse if every time a policeman murders somebody, we give it another name and look at the other way. The police actions towards the American citizen is causing a big ripple and the security for all Americans. You're just going to allow a terrorist to come in and you're going to have some white fascist police like, yeah, those African Americans, yeah. And don't get it straight, I'm a Creole. And that's a very proud group. So don't be thinking like those cops up in New York, a Mongo. It's a Mongala. Anyway, they're stupid. You know, they're stupid. There's different. Oh, they call it a mud or something. You know what I'm saying? I like to know. I like to give me two white people together, and you tell me who your mama ancestors are and who your daddy ancestors are, and see if you guys just didn't come over here as fucking and then enslaved, and your daddy was on his knees sucking dick. And then you could ask anybody that came off of Edison Island. All the white people I know that came over here was, when they came over here from the war zones, there was people with some dirty ass, they would kill their kid in a minute if they cried too loud to save their life. They didn't give a fuck. And these policemen don't give a fuck about what they're doing to this country. They want us to feel sorry after you murder somebody. My condolences to Freddie Gray's parents and loved ones. You know, I don't know what's the next thing. You're gonna come down with your tanks? Is that your master plan? You think you're gonna put? You think you're gonna have it like Hitler? Hey, Hitler wasn't an island by himself. Hitler could have never did all that by himself. So you think, you know, I hear like some people like, if I go back in time, I kill Hitler. So what? They'll just get another posse to put up there. So all I gotta say is the police should start thinking. You know, maybe retrain, and maybe learn to respect yourself. You will respect others. Stop murdering people.